All right, guys. So we are back with visualization 2. All right. In visualization 2, basically, we are looking into Seaborn, right? The Seaborn library. So previously, what we have done using Seaborn library, we have done these different types of plots, line plot, histogram, count plot, scatter plot. But what new you saw here is a heat map, that is sns.heatmap, right? Now, some again a new plot that you haven't seen in Matplotlib, that is box plot. All right, so box plot is basically used to check the outliers. All right, what exactly is outliers, guys? Outliers is nothing but an exception. All right, if you have a simple distribution and suddenly there are some numbers which do not fit into the distribution, can be known as an exception or an outliers, correct? So let's see, in this data frame, that is cars data, do we have any outliers or not? So let's create a figure to initialize the figure. Here let's call sns dot boxplot function. And guys, the syntax goes this way. So what is your data? My data is the data frame, and let's say on the x-axis I want to show the outliers for the price column, and then plt dot show. Great, so that is a box plot, guys. So let me explain you everything. So if you don't know the theory of interquartile range, I'll recommend you go back and watch the video of the descriptive statistics. All right. So here you can see in the box plot, there's a box where this line stands for the quartile 1, this is quartile 2, the median, and this is quartile 3, that is 75%. So 25%, 50%, and 75%. This is the upper whisker, this is the lower whisker, and you can see on the lower side we have no outliers, but any data point which is like greater than the upper whisker is an outlier, right? So these are the values which are greater than the upper whisker. So these are the outliers which are represented through dots. So if you see that particular range, so in price, if you see something which is like greater than over here, so I'll just randomly guess that, consider this is something as 28,000. So anything that is greater than 28,000 is an outlier. So that does not fit into that particular distribution. All right. So let me guys repeat once again. This is lower whisker, quantile 1, quantile 2, quantile 3, and the upper whisker. And these are the outliers. So guys, a box plot can be done not just on a single variable. It can also be done on two variables. Let me copy this, paste it over here. Then you can see data remains the same. That is the data frame. Let's say on the X we have price, but this time on the Y, let me add another data. That is the make. That means we're gonna check the outlier on the price, but on the different manufacturer. That is a make column. Okay. The image is too small. Let me increase the fix size. I gave a fix size to this. Add some 8 comma 8. Yeah. Guys, you can see here. Now we are checking the outliers, but as per the different categories of the manufacturers. Okay. So here you can see Alfa Romeo has no outlier. Dodge has one outlier. Honda has one outlier. Isuzu has an outlier, and Toyota has 3 to 4 outliers. All right, guys. So that's how in a box plot you can add multiple variables like this. So, guys, I hope the concept of visualization is clear. Sorry, the concept of box plot is clear. Now, moving on to the next concept. So, guys, we have completed all the different types of plots, and box plot and heat map is something new that you have seen in Seaborn, right? Now, the next concept we're gonna see, it's not a new plot, but it is a concept of subplots. What exactly is subplots, guys? Subplots is nothing but you know uh, in a single figure, making multiple plots or plotting multiple bar charts or plots into a single figure. And how exactly we do that? So for that purpose, what I'll do is, let me add to a list x and y. All right. After that, I'm gonna call the function. plt dot subplots. Subplots, I'm gonna pass 2 comma 2, where 2 comma 2 stands for two rows and two columns. So guys, if there are two rows and two columns, we can actually make four plots. 2 into 2 is 4, so we can actually make four plots. Alright. And in the same argument, you can pass a fixed size. And let's give some fixed size, let's say 7 comma 7 right now. So guys, we are calling the subplot function from matplotlib where we are passing 2 comma 2. That means making four plots given a fixed size. And this function returns two variables. One is the figure and the other one is the axis. All right. What is an axis? You'll understand in a minute. All right. Figure is like it is for the entire figure, and axis is something that you'll understand in a minute. Now, guys, using the axis that we have written over here, let's say if I say axis 0 comma 0. So, guys, I'm trying to access the first row and first column over here. That is the first uh, quadrant, you can say. So, if let's say this entire figure is divided into four quadrants, I'm trying to access the first quadrant over here. And let's say axis 0, point 0 dot plot. Let me pass x comma y. So you can see that all the four quadrants or all the four parts are plotted, but I'm accessing the zero row and zero column. That means the first row and first column, and there I'm just doing a simple plot. Then axis 0 comma 1. That means the first row and the second column over here. There I want to do a scatter plot. So let's say dot scatter x comma y. So you can see in the second quadrant there is a scatter plot. And guys, let me just repeat this. All right, let me just repeat this. But I'll change the axis value. Let's say now it is 1 comma 0 and 1 comma 1. For the second row, that is 1 0 is second row first column and 1 1 is second row second column. So there also we are doing a plot, a simple plot and a scatter plot. And at the end, I'll say plt dot show. So guys, I hope you have understand what is a subplots. That means in a single figure, we are doing multiple plots. All right. And so how we do it, we call plt dot subplots function. We need to mention how many rows and columns we want. It returns two outputs. One is a figure and the axis. So figure stands for the entire figure, and axis stands for a single quadrant like this. Okay, or you can say a single cell. So if I are talking about rows and columns, this is a single cell over here. So axis represents single cell. So from axis, you can access each of the cells. A particular cell, for example, you have to specify the row and column value, and then you can do the different types of plot that you want. But guys, in this, we are using the matplotlib. We are not using Seaborn. We can use Seaborn as well. All right. I'll show you how. So let's scroll down over here. Let me just copy this entire code like this. I don't need X and Y anymore. I'll remove the X and Y. Guys, this code is required. Again, let's say I want four parts. So this particular line is required. plt.show is required. But these are not required because if you want to do a Seaborn plot, then these will not work out. So I'll remove them. If you just do a simple plot, it's again the four quadrants, the four cells. Okay. Now let's add the Seaborn plots in between. All right. So guys, I don't. You have already learned about Seaborn. I just copy and paste a few lines from my repository. So you can see I'm using a displot where I'm passing. Okay, guys, let me be more clear. So let me remove some lines. Okay. All right. Perfect. So guys, you can see what we have in between are four different plots. First one is a a histogram. So we're using sns.displot for the price. Second one is a count plot for make. Third one is a scatter plot between the width and price, and it also has a hue. Last one is a box plot for price. All right, but these are not the part of your subplots. To make them the part of your subplots, what we need to do is, for each of these plots, we need to pass an argument called AX, right, which also stands for axis. For AX, it should go to the axis 0, comma 0. Similarly, the second one, it should go to the axis 0, comma 1. Third one should go to the axis 1, comma 0. And the fourth one should go to the axis 1, comma 1. Right. So now each of these plots goes to each of these cells. All right. Let's run the code and check out. Let me also increase the size, but this time we're gonna have a huge figure. So let's say 10, comma 10. So what is wrong here? I guess something is missed out. Oh, sorry. There's no need for this. So here we go, guys. So you can see the different Seaborn plots into different cells, right? You can see that they are like coinciding with each other, or they're merging together. So what you can do is you can just simply increase the width over here. So instead of 10, I'll make it 15. And yes, you can do it more. Like let's make it 20, 20 comma, let's say 50. It'll look good now. Yeah, perfect. So you can see four different plots into a single figure, and these are the Seaborn plots. So that's the code, guys. This is used for the creating four cells. This is the simple show function. In between, you have all the different Seaborn plots, and you just have to pass an argument for the axis. That's all. All right. Perfect, guys. So that was all about visualization using Seaborn. Now, for further topics, stay tuned. Take care.